yeah, interacting thing in society. Yeah, I mean, it's a frightening thought. And again, you step away from, remember the 1984 novel where they test tube, they were creating humans and things like that, and banning other activities as well that created humans. You're getting dangerously close to that. Again, I'm jumping forward a bit. There's argument, but yeah, we're pushing that. So we could be running into a different agenda, and we could be building things. I mean, you could build, you could be building the ideal human, or human, as you say, Chimera, for military purposes. Something that could move quite quickly, reason, do something.
Send them into battle just to be slaughtered.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Again, I come from science fiction.
I think
yeah.
I think in the Ukraine they sort of made this comment, which really brought home the butchering that Wood was calling the battlefronts meat grinders.
Yeah, well, that's always been a way of doing it.
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean,
it reduces a human being to just a pound of flesh. You know.
Well, I remember in the UK, going back probably 15 years or something, they had a program on where they would have just ordinary people running a battle plan, and they had a Sandhurst advisor there. I don't think he was full military. He's an Israeli guy actually, and he was terming, like, from Roman times, he would call it the meat grinding, and that's exactly what it is. That's not a new term. I think I read that in Andy McNabb, I think years ago, this term. It's a, yeah, I've actually used it in my lessons quite a few times to Brazilians, just a little bit of shock with it. Yeah, to bring it home that this is war. And like yesterday, I was doing a lesson and somehow I got onto talking about war and things because, yeah, I was talking about some music that been inspired by history, which, yeah, I've actually done a YouTube list, which I might put a link down below now I've mentioned it, of music that's been inspired by historical events, and there's some of it is about war and how horrible war is and dreadful. And yes, it is always been called meat grinding, because that's what it is. I mean, particularly in Roman times, where it's the way the Romans would operate, the shields going through with spears, or the swords, something else, but yeah, just keep going, go. Is how they actually wiped out Boudicca's army. That was, you know, it was either the Romans were very nearly beaten by Boudicca, and yeah, they just went through the way they did it, the Romans. And if your mate fell down, you just cleared up the sheer wall. You didn't worry about it. You just kept going. That was real meat grinding. You couldn't beat it. Yeah, I mean, it's, and yeah, today we've got it today, where you're doing even rifles, and you talked about the tank the other day. Get the hell out of it, because you know you're a sitting target. And yeah, I mean, it is the futility of war. It's always been known about. It was spoken about and written about in ancient times through Morses, about when you see the waste of life. On the other hand, I think there was a German philosopher said, war is man's obligation to himself, because he advances science and advances medical knowledge, and controls the population to a certain degree. Again, this is
because when we look back on like the last two Great Wars, the fact that they were called the Great Wars, and we regarded the soldiers that didn't come back as the fallen, it was almost poetic.
Yeah.
Instead of saying that they succumbed to the meat grinding, they were ground down. You know, especially the First World War, because they were in trenches like 100 yards apart, and just bang, taking pot shots at each other. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
and it was like people being led to their own slaughter, if you like.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is a natural human thing to dehumanize something. I mean, the Vikings have Valhalla. the other place as well, where, you know, if you died with a sword in your hand in battle, it is a glorious death. To encourage them, almost dehumanizing it. You're going to be a god. Yeah, we know there's other people that use that same analogy today. War is an incredible thing. It's always been with us. We're still in the 21st century. We've probably never been so globally technically advanced, and yet we're still going around killing each other over land effectively. Wherever you might stand on it and what's right, what's wrong. We are and yeah, we've got incredible ability to do mass slaughter now, in a way that we've never had before. I mean, the First World War was the first actual mechanized war, if you like, on an industrial scale. Incredible, the weapons that were developed then. Yeah, I mean, you got to think today we've got similar weapons. We've got even more advanced ones, and we spoke about Ukraine not being flattened yet, which it's a possibility. And Ukraine probably have the possibility to flatten great tracts of the Western world of Russia, and that's not happening, thankfully. I'm not suggesting I want to see that. I'd like them to all lay down their arms and start talking. Personally, I think we're getting to the point of being ridiculous now, as you're saying. There, I'm not going to make no bones about it. I'm afraid certain politicians in the US and the UK are probably quite right. Not always people I'd always agree with, but it is a yeah, war has always been with us since Cain and Abel. Cain hit Abel over the head. It's a very emotional thing. We see the media report it in a very unemotional way when suits them, and an emotional way. If a Russian gets killed, oh, good. Put it on, chalk it up as a score. If Ukrainian, the brave Ukrainian soldiers died. These are all guys who are, probably women as well, who are facing uncertainty every day. And we are losing sight of this, and you're quite right, by using different semantics. Yeah, we call them the fallen. We're not calling them now, you know, the glorious dead. Yeah.
You mentioned the Ukraine. Let me just get this last point in.
Yeah.
Because I said that all of this would be coming back to.
If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. We look forward to seeing you again. Goodbye.